Hi, let's take a look at some other reflectance shaders. Let's go load the reflectance shaders list, and then let's go choose the Shadowcatcher reflectance shader. Now we have a simple scene over here where we have a chair, a sphere, we have a ground plane over here. Let's make that slightly bigger. What we're going to do is we're going to paint the ground plane with our Shadowcatcher material, and this will enable us to catch the shadow from our objects in the scene. Now another thing we'll make sure is that our light is casting a shadow over here. I see the shadow's on. Let's turn it back on. And then what we want to do then is set the background image. So let's go over here, choose background image, and set that to the image that we loaded before. This is the peer image if you're wondering. You can go load that up from downloaded files. Then what we want to do is let's do a test render to see what this looks like. As you can see, our sphere and our chair now look as though they're actually in this picture. Now let's say we want to make the shadows around the base a bit darker. So let's go over here, shadow color, we can change that to a bit darker over there. Let's apply it to our Shadowcatcher plane again, and let's go do a render. As you can see, the shadow's a bit darker now, but if you compare with the rest of the picture, you can see that it really needs to be a bit lighter, so let's change it back to the grayish color that we had before. Now in order to make our objects look as though they belong to the scene even more, we can try to add fake reflections to our objects. So let's select our sphere over there, and then let's go choose environment map over here. You've seen many familiar variables which we used before, like luminosity, diffuse, shininess, specularity, reflection, and refraction. Well, what we want to do is here select the peer image, which we're using as a background, and apply that as an environment map to our sphere. So let's apply that on. And then what we also want to do is, we don't really have that many objects in the scene to reflect, but we do have the chair. So let's increase the reflection a bit so we can reflect the chair a bit maybe. And let's maybe reposition the chair a bit so we can see the reflection on the sphere. Oh, let's put it over here. That looks about right. Okay, now let's do a test render. As you can see, we now get faint reflections on the sphere of the environment. It makes it look as though it belongs a bit more, and the chair is slightly reflected, although we can probably make it reflect a bit more if we move it a bit closer. So let's try that. Let's take the chair and let's move it a bit closer over here. And while we're at that, let's go rotate it a bit as well from the top view. Let's move a bit closer, switch back to the front view. Okay. And see if we can get to reflect on the sphere. Let's do a render. And there we go. We have a chair and sphere incorporated into a picture, which it was not actually in before. There's also an animate checkbox over here if you want to use animated texture for an environment map. But in this case, it doesn't really matter because we're doing a still picture. So let's try it out and see what you can do. It's a pretty cool shader, so we'll try out more stuff in the next tutorial.